I should have unplugged the cord because it cuts the video off when I shut it. Part 2. Who is Gene Revel and Jonathan Kleck? When Jonathan Kleck tells you that the Lord God has told him this, that, and the other thing, and over the years, he told you that the Lord God showed him all types of stuff and is talking to him about things, and my channel didn't I didn't start my channel yet. I started my channel April 2nd, 2017. I didn't know anything. When I hopped into the YouTube platform, I hopped in basically dumb. And then I get crucified 11 months and 1 day later, after I made a 1 minute and 11-second video coming in with a bow. And then I named my channel Robin's Hood, and Bowie my dog, and Jonathan Kleck just so happens to have a dog named Bowie. And I came in after Jald Karim uploaded his first video on April 23rd, 2005, 11 years, 11 months, and 11 days later. And Jonathan Kleck, before I showed up, was talking about the 11-11-11, about the Hoover Dam thing. So what I was saying in part 1 is that the Jonathan Kleck's channel, along with everybody else's, has been predetermined. It was planned out from the beginning to have that channel, to start the fear porn and the things and all that stuff, and make it seem like things are going to happen, nothing really happens. I got caught up with predicting all these 9/11 dates, and then on Christmas, the day before 2020, one of those Jonathan Klecks got up and was talking about some type of destruction I believe was going to happen, and I said what I said, and then Nashville took place and the bombing and all that stuff, which proved to me that, yeah, it can happen. But I'm starting to think more that he's like the sign of Jonah, where the city of Philadelphia will not be destroyed with the second 9/11, even though that was the plan, because he's showing pyramids, he's talking about it being upside down, he's showing you the 17th and JFK area, the Twin Towers, Liberty 1, Liberty 2, William Penn Building. But the sign of Jonah is, it's not happening. He was swallowed up by a great big fish because he got caught. In other words, he got caught. The great big fish swallowed him up in the sea. And he was meant to go and warn Nineveh and the king. I've been trying to figure people out for so long. So Jonathan Kleck has that sign up in the back in one of his videos where it has the 44 in the middle, the 4 upside down 4, right side up 4, Revelation or something or another. But when he's standing and sitting in front of it, it spells Gene. I'll show a clip of it later on. I always like to just show things. When I just talk about things in my truck, I can't really show you, so it's not, I don't feel like it's as effective, but I do know that it's revelations that are in my head, and I need to get them out, because it's what they are. They're revelations. They're real revelations. They're not the Lord told me, the Lord spoke to me, the Lord said this, the Lord said that. I'll be honest with you. I think to myself, and then I start saying things. Who are you talking to when you're talking out loud? You're usually not talking to God. People that mumble to themselves and talk out loud, they usually are just talking to themselves. There's a good and evil side of you. And I've thought, well, maybe Gene Revel is the evil twin of Jonathan Kleck, and he's trying to make him look bad. Or he's the good twin of Jonathan Kleck, trying to make him look bad, or trying to make him look as what he's shining the light on him, and then you perceive it, whether it's good or bad. Then I thought, well, maybe Gene Revel is actually Jonathan Kleck himself, and the man of two faces. But the only reason Gene Revel's channel started 3 years ago is because I showed up. I converted Jonathan Kleck into his preconceived ideas. He gave up, and then he decided, you know what? Because I can do the same thing. I can make a Robin Hood false prophet channel, pretend I'm somebody else behind a different mask. I'll go as far as putting on a different face and really, pushing it. But Gene Revel doesn't show his face. He just talks, and that's not his real voice. It's just, he's the CEO of freaking YouTube. Why would that be his real voice? And then I can pick apart all types of videos from the past and just talk not trash, but reality. Like, look here, idiot, false prophet, liar. You said this was going to happen. Second 9/11 this date, nothing happened. What happens when you say that if someone says something's going to happen and it doesn't? You're a false prophet. I can do the same thing about myself. I can pick apart myself. I can chastise myself. Just like Daniel does. But is there a Danielle? The female version of Daniel? Do I have a twin that was born in the same hospital and my mom just didn't want to tell me? Or is it a twin where I represent Christ, the truth, on the YouTube platform, and everybody knows it, but my evil twin is really somebody who's been alive longer than I have and is trying to take my place, with everything that's been scripted from the beginning, and reading scripts. And I don't read scripts, and I just whatever comes to me, and I push record and talk about it. Is Jonathan Kleck my evil twin? Is he placating me? Jonathan, I love you anyway, regardless. And no matter who is still acting, you're not going to get away with it, because in the end, which is coming up soon, all things are revealed. The one who's really in charge of this planet, like Adam and Eve, how Steve Benoon shows you, how Yana and Steve Now Steve shows you his eyes are closed in the Institute, his other channel. Biblical, what's it called? Biblical Institute, something? Anyway, you show your eyes are closed. The landscape of the map is the eye is closed. Adam, the Adam's apple. Adam in Michigan. It looks like the woman. It looks like the woman's riding the beast, the system. It looks like the serpent is up there in Michigan. It looks like Stephen James is a flat-out liar, but is he really the serpent, or is Jonathan Kleck the serpent? Is Jonathan Kleck the serpent in the garden that was more subtle than all the others because he fooled me for 3 years? Well, not really. I can't say he fooled me for 3 years. I came after Jonathan Kleck because I couldn't stand the pride that was in the voice of what he was saying. And likewise, I'm guilty of the same thing, so I can't say that he's the only one like that, because people come against me too because of how arrogant and just asleep I was, talking about your head being covered and making a joke, putting a bunch of hats on my head because Boldly, I think, was talking about not praying with your head covered. But Jonathan Kleck was really telling you your penis. If your penis is down, like if you put your head down and you're praying, you're disrespecting God. You're not, I forget the word, because this is all about the reproductive organ being inverted. What Jonathan Kleck was telling, and again, I'll show clips of it, but I'll talk about it now. And the only other person that really does what they say they're going to do, like when they say they're going to do a biblical teaching, or they say they're going to come up, they're going to be up tonight, and they're going to say they're going to do a video about this or that, it's Stephen Ben-Nun. He's the only one that does that. Jonathan Kleck does get up a lot, but I hear all that time, like, I'm going to be here every single day as much as I can. No, you're not, because you never do. So I don't know why you say it. And Derek Bros used to do the same thing. Don't you just know you're not going to do what you're saying you're going to do? I don't know. I just think it's important. If you're going to say something you're going to do, just do it. If you don't do it, you lose credibility. So it is what it is. But what I'm going to do is show clips of it, whether it's today or tomorrow, or sometimes it just takes me a little bit of time to get, like yesterday's video with Steve Ben-Nun is showing me about the skeleton and the picture that I had and the arm around his friend, and I mean, it's like, wow, man, wow. I was really born for this, wasn't I? I realize it now. My life wasn't just random. I was planned out. More than, I just thought I was not planned out. I thought just randomly, I'm the last one to be born, and my mom and dad just randomly had me. Nah, my mom and my real dad, they definitely planned on having me. Because that's why my mom and father, I believe that's why they split. My mom cheated on my dad when I was young. And one of the things that I forgot was, because I tell you just what happened. I'm just telling you my life. It doesn't matter if it's what people think about it. This is my life. This is what happened. This is how it is. My dad knocked my mom's teeth out. Pretty messed up, ain't it? Pretty messed up. So he must have been really mad at my mom for cheating on him at some point while I was a newborn, because after that he went to jail. He robbed a store. He stuck up a store, had a 357, and did like 3.5, 4 years for it. But when he found out that my mom cheated on him, he punched her in the mouth and knocked her teeth out, and she had to get false teeth. I never laid a hand on my wife. I've tried to restrain her sometimes because, man, she used to come at me with accusations. I swear to God, every other day for at least 5 years straight. Every other day was an accusation of cheating on her or doing this or doing that, or talking to a woman or looking at somebody else. I'm like, I don't even know how I mean, was that a gang stalking tactic from the beginning from Saul? Saul, did you send your daughter did you send Doris at first? And then you sent my wife to really, really try to get, but then she fell in love with me and it backfired on you? Because either way, Christophilus, Saul, Lucifer, up in the moon, watching my life, giving Lena, whatever her name was, giving her a problem. The one looking out for me. Either way, I don't care if you built this world around me and you've surveilled me my entire life. The gang stalking, in order for me to stay here, the gang stalking needs to go. Your ways need to stop. And you need to just step aside. Now, I understand for other people, I may speak in a bold manner because you might be hearing it, but you may think I'm delusional. It's okay. It's okay. I get it. But I'm not. I see things like nobody else has ever seen anything. And for the ones that have been following me and are from the inside, you know it's true. And then the X Factor is talking to you about what's true, knowing that I have an audience that will look at me, that will roll their eyes. But I don't care. People rolled their eyes people looked at me like I was an alien when I walked into the stores without a face mask on. When I said, nah, I'm good, I'm all right, I'm exercising my freedom of religion. Huh? You must wear a mask, sir. Whatever. But that's it. We're calling the cops on you. Go ahead. I'll tell the cops how they're in the wrong, and then right before they're getting ready to lock me up, I'll leave. I'll just do what Christ did. Just disappear from the crowd before they went to lay hands on him. My life is a parallel to Christ. And I've accepted it. I've accepted it even more so because I've actually have been crucified just like Christ was on 3/22/2018. From the top military commander guy, Matthew Daly. Crucifying me daily. Pick up your cross daily, Matthew Daly. This big hidden secret agenda that nobody was going to tell me about. So I appreciate Gene Revel's channel, whoever he really is, whether he's Jim, Karen's husband, the twins, the CEO of YouTube, of course. Right. When will they open up this road? They've been working on this road for a long time. They've had it closed for a long time. It's just not even natural for it to happen. Don't disrupt people's daily routines like this. But anyway, I appreciate that channel because I feel like he's trying to show me something. Because when you feature me on your channel, it means you're paying attention to what I'm saying. It means that the things that I'm seeing, the majority of it is true. Some of it, I can't see it all the way. And just like the Forrest Gump, okay, Jenny, where I'm being cheated on, lied to, but friendly to my face. Either way, I love Jonathan Kleck. He reminds me of Lazarus in the Bible. After 4 days, a day is a year, Bible prophecy. A day is a year, being sick because he thinks he's Christ, because he thinks he's the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. And maybe you are. Maybe you're like King Herod. I'm sure you'll back up, right? Back up a little bit? No? Yeah? I thought Stephen James was at one time, but then I think he's more like Peter. And I think, well, who's Paul? Well, Jonathan Kleck's Paul. Is it Steve Banu? Because the teachings of Paul is now. Or is it Christ, the risen Christ? Or is Paul preaching Christ crucified and risen because he's been following his YouTube channel for quite some time? Is there a fake Apostle Paul? Of course there is. There's a Paul, the real Paul, then there's a fake Apostle Paul. Is there a Paulina also? I mean, I got so many questions. My goodness, I pray out loud. I realize how much I pray, because I used to think praying was something you do when you get on your hands and knees and close your eyes and bow your head to Satan. And then you're talking out loud to yourself, but Satan's the only one that really truly hears you. Then I realized, no, praying and prayers being answered is something that is a recent thing. Praying to me is praying to the channels, praying to the channels that has all the answers on YouTube, and the Spirit of God working through them to give me the answer. That's praying out loud. That's prayers for me. And praying really is only about receiving knowledge and wisdom. If you're praying for items and goods and money and all that stuff, just no wonder why people stop believing in God, because you were told to pray and just so your prayers can't be answered ever, and it turned you off from God. I'm just here to set the record straight, whether you like it or not. Don't care. I truly don't care. So who are these people? Who are all these people that have come in my direction, that have featured me in their videos? I mean, I'm so honored by the fact that from the beginning I've gotten people like the top Luciferian United States head leading gang stalker in America, Stephen James Sean. According to the website, he probably made about 200 videos about me, and he probably made about 250 videos altogether. And the other 50 videos, he was talking to me in the language referring to things about me, mentioning other people. Then I also had people like he was the vicar of Lucifer. Then I had the vicar of Jesus, the Jesuits vicar of Jesus, Tyler Mullen. One day I got him to make about 21 videos in one day, because I got him to start cutting himself like the false prophets do. And just robbing this, robbing that, robbing. I got a Glop of Truth, Derek from a Glop of Truth. Ryan Hall, y'all, I believe he is, aka. Not sure, but could be, most likely. Same thing. Videos, video, non-stop. I got Boldly, same thing. Justin, Sims, same thing. Just robbing, liar, false prophet. I know he's deceiver. Then I got Matthew Daly to literally crucify me for 3.5 hours between the 6th and the 9th hour on 3/22/2018 on my 11th month first day in the YouTube, after me making a 1 minute 11-second video, after Joel Karim made his first video on YouTube 11 years 11 months 11 days later. And Matthew Daly had 111 subscribers on that day. That one day was as 1,000 years, and Satan was bound. He was bound because the only reason I got crucified on that day from Matthew Daly, because it was all about robbing this. I don't know how many times he mentioned my name, at least 100. I think it was an average of one every 30 seconds. Or he mentioned Robin one time every minute, because it was like that many times. The only reason why Satan would be bound that day is because he knew that I showed up. I didn't know it at the time, but I know it now. His season is now. He's loosed. Peter is a denier, but a believer. Paul is a liar, but he believes in the end. The father of lies is Satan. But who's the real Paul? Stephen James says it's Trump. Trump. I don't know why, but Jacob Israel seems to point to himself as Trump a lot. But then I thought, well, Stephen James does the same thing. Is Stephen James actually Jacob Israel, the showman? You guys are real smooth and tricky. But only the Spirit of God can reveal these things to me legitimately, and I'll show you. It doesn't matter if I'm wrong or right. God told me to be hot or cold, because the reason is I know the ones that want to help me understand will. And even if, like, Jonathan Kleck was trying to play me for all those years, bringing me there, taking me to Be Still, Robin Henry T's, Note I Am Adam and David, 8:48 a.m. on October 21st, 2020, 17 JFK. Barack Obama showed up the same day, talking the same thing. He showed you the same thing in the video. He said at 8:48 a.m. Even if you're trying to use me, all I can say is, if you're like Saul, then you're like God's anointed. Who spent the most time with me? Jonathan Kleck. Who tried to show me the most? Jonathan Kleck. Was it all good intention? Or was it all evil? Or was it a mixture of both? Maybe evil at first, but then it's like, wow. Wow, Robin, you're like really here, aren't you? I'm not you. You're you, and I'm not. Saul, Jonathan. I feel like David slaying Goliath. Goliath the liar. Stephen James is like the biggest flat out liar. And then Saul, why are you persecuting me, Saul? I'll show the rest on the video.